Yard open. Yard is open. Yard open. Yard is open. I got Mr. Andrew Godbold with me today. This is a man, if anybody else is my brother, I would definitely consider it to be him. My dad is married to his mother, but that's technical stuff at this point.
On paper, yeah.
Former pro baseball player, current professional golfer.
Golf professional.
One of the first things I wanted to talk about, because this was hard for me, so I'm wondering how you felt about this, right? Was when you finally stopped playing baseball, right? So, of course, for me, I'm in prison, but I play sports. I play football, I play basketball. I was damn good, and I enjoyed dominating people, right? Mm. But when it's finally time to stop, you've been playing sports for 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20. Like a lot of guys who are really good athletes, like sports is a part of who they are, right? So how did you feel once you finally stopped playing professional baseball?
It's a great question. It was tough. You feel like you died. So, athletic depression, anticipating it, was trying to figure out how to handle my mind, right? Because I know hours, days, years, one goal. Get there, okay, what's the next? What's next? You're just working. And then one day it's over and your cup is empty. You have nothing else to fill it up with. I heard Gilbert Arenas talking about how he used to just drive in traffic because he didn't know what else to do with his time, and how his body would start to prime as the season came closer, and he realized he had nothing to actually prime for. He just was in a limbo that was real, and nobody really tells you how to deal with that emptiness. It expects you to figure it out. And so me being a person that figures it out, you just try different things. You put the mask on, you try to cover it up. But man, through therapy, it was nice to establish that the Andrew I had died. I had to bury that person and find a way to start a new life, because sitting and pulling threads from all of that does nothing but make you feel like you're more in a hole. And that's how I ended up finding golf, was just replacing the time in the cage with the time on the range. Plus COVID hit, gave you plenty of time being locked down up in Chicago, which you can't do much. You go to the range, just figure it out. And just that process of learning how to hit the outside pitch, the inside pitch, the curveball, replace that with hitting this ball that's not moving and controlling it. This is just the most frustrating thing to do, but I love the process of learning a new skill and becoming good at it and being competitive and, like you said, dominating. I don't like to do things just to do it. So I was really talented at golf. Okay, let me figure out how to be good, because I don't like losing to my friends who I know I can be better than. I don't like losing to people who are lesser athletes than me in my eyes, or who I know mentally I have an edge over. I just have to perform, because I don't have performance anxiety. It's just a matter of executing what you know how to do. Where you can get in somebody's head in golf there's no defense. I hit a ball 340 yards, you're immediately on your heels. But there's nothing you can do, and I can't stop you. You have to focus on your shot. That's the cool part about it.
What was it that made you stop playing baseball?
Time, money, and opportunity.
Okay, so explain each one of the three. Time, money, and opportunity.
So time, I was 28. I got drafted late. I went to college at normal age and went to a JUCO, had a knee surgery, coach retired, was gonna quit. One of my best friends just looked me in the face when I told him I was gonna quit. And he said, "Nah, you're supposed to go to the league." That's all he said. Just was very matter of fact with it. And I just, okay, there's people who believe in me and trust me. Let me not let this person, this coach who I hated, ruin something that I love. Came home for Thanksgiving that year, second year where I was at my first time, and found happiness. Realized, okay, this isn't who I am. This is the situation. I can change situations. Went home, went to Triton, and just learned the game and got in great shape and knew that I could do this. I was one of the only people, if you asked anybody in high school who was going to get drafted, it wouldn't have been me. I just knew. Same thing freshman year, same thing going into my second year, which was my third year actually. So I was actually 21 when I got full scholarship to Southeastern Louisiana, which is 45 minutes north of where we are right now. So when I got drafted, I was 22, which is actually like a senior age. So my goal was I want to give myself 6 years. 6 years of pro ball it's an above average amount of time. Like an average running back in the NFL is 2.5, 3 years. Average professional baseball player, athletes probably 2 to 3 years. So minor leagues, whatever, I did something that is abnormal. Great. I don't want to just be in the crowd, but, I wasn't the elite of the elite. I was good. I had a good career that I can sit here at this table with most people and sit here and just solid. Can't hold it and hit 300 in a professional season. How many people can say that? Led the league in RBIs, home run derby champ. These are things that no matter what level, they were done. So I don't look back at I have something to prove or I feel like I have a chip on my shoulder. The chip is there for life. But athletically, when I played terrible in Canada. I'm a slow starter. We were losing. No excuses. Could have done better. Should have done better. I didn't get another chance after that, and I wasn't going to keep busting my ass for other people who I felt like their decision-making was flawed. There were guys who I thought I was better than, that I should have got opportunities over that didn't. There were guys I was making less than when I was with the Dodgers who I thought I should have got opportunities with or over that I didn't. It's part of the game. Mm-hmm. I was just tired of playing the game. And at 28, I got 2 black parents who are doctors. How long are you going to do this? Make no money. If you're trying to do this stuff in the offseason, figure it out, traveling around, being a nomad, and struggling. I could only ask them for help so much before I got to stand on my own 2 feet. I went back to school on my own, to finish. That was my decision. I wanted to finish for my grandparents while I was still playing. I finished my last final in the clubhouse. Fell asleep typing a paper after practice. I got spring training, good. Okay, I got to finish this. Knocked out, wake up, keep going, hit send, realize I'm done. That was the best year of my career, 2018. It was awesome. I got traded. There was a whole bunch of stuff going on. But that's the time and the money and the opportunity. It was just, I don't know how I look at guys I play with now who are still playing 10 years later. I'm like, what are you doing in the offseason to be able to allow yourself to go make no money, to play a game? I love the game, so I miss it all the time. So I don't miss the work.
The money.
Yeah.
You discussed the time, specifically the money.
Yeah.
Like, speak on the money.
The money was bad, man. Started out making, most I made was $1,200 a month in salary. I got a check.
So, but they provide like housing or something? Like, you're not paying rent.
I showed you my host family from Kentucky. Best host family in the game. They were great.
Yeah.
Got a nice place to stay during the season. Sometimes my host family, when I was in Utah, was terrible. The first one, we got moved because, long story, not going to put it out public, but long story short, they were lying on us saying we were doing things, me and my roommate, which we weren't. This lady tried to say, we came back home at 6 a.m. one time. We're in Ogden, Utah. This is, a state run by a certain religious group with certain rules. Things close at 1 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? The alcohol is calipered. You ain't getting a double. So you need the beers watered down. So we got home at that time. Well, the bus pulled into the stadium at 4:30. So we did come in at 5:30. It wasn't because we were out. She gave us a car that didn't work. This car would break down in the intersections. I mean, there was a gun safe in the basement. I like guns. I'm a gun fanatic, but I'm educated on how to use them. Hey, can I go play with the guns? Yeah, just be careful. Never picked up an AR in my life. I see this thing, I pick it up. It's heavy. What's the first thing you do to a gun? check it, see if it's loaded. Pull the clip out. Fucking clip is loaded. Rack the gun. Bullet pops out. I'm like, could have killed everybody in the house. Could have killed my just messing around. So I mean, it's a crapshoot. They put us in a better spot after that, but that's not how you want to live in your 20s. And then after that, you go home. You can't stack money during the season really because you're making $600 to $1,500 a month.
Well, $1,200 a month is it's pretty slim pickings.
And that was a high contract. I felt good about that. I went from $750 to $1,150 to $1,200 to like $1,250.
It's like making like $9 an hour.
Less bus time, workout time.
Yeah.
BP, practice time, game time.
I'm just saying, like, if you're like a regular, whatever, 40-hour a week person.
We had a trip one time. This place like St. Louis like to Traverse City or to Erie, Pennsylvania. It's like 12, 14-hour bus ride. That's time you're working. Technically. You know what I'm saying? Sleep on the floor, sleep on the car, get up, show and go at the hotel.
So you're trying to get paid for the bus ride and all of them.
That's true, man. That's as far as we should.
Okay. And what about opportunity?
Like I said, nobody picked me up after I didn't play well. I didn't get a second chance. I felt I had earned the ability to get a second chance, but in reality, that doesn't matter. So, like I said, I wasn't going to keep chasing this thing at the time when it was, okay, do I want to start building a life? Do I want to keep chasing this dream? Obviously, I could play a kid's game forever. Yeah. But like I said, my family's not going to continue to support me through that, and I wouldn't expect them to. It's unfair to say, hey, I'm almost 30. I want to keep playing this thing because I have a chance. Yeah, sure, but you got time. Now it's time to build something. And like we were talking about the other day, feeling behind, because we were talking about how time is finite, right, for us on this earth, where I'm behind because I did this thing that was great. I wouldn't change it for anything. But at this point in my life, I am behind for my age and my peers. As I'm sure you understand, feeling the same feeling.
I do. So actually, me and your mom were just talking about this maybe today, right? I was like, amongst my peers, people who've come from similar situations as mine, whether they, got in trouble with the law or bad neighborhoods or whatever, right? They look at me like I'm way ahead of the game, right? Like, oh, I'm doing great. Then, I'm out with her. We go to, her girlfriend's house. She has this mini mansion on the lake. It's like 3 houses combined. Mm-hmm. Then we go to her other friend's house, which is right in the French Quarter. It's on a corner in the quarter.
With its own Instagram.
With its own Instagram, an office, a pool with a bridge over it.
Wait. A coach house that has an office in it. That was a coach house. That's a house in the backyard.
So it's like, and
it's like a bridge over the pool.
But it's like, when you look at, her friends in her circle, it's like, I ain't doing shit.
Not a damn thing.
And, like for a lot of people, like that's pressure to, especially with men, it's pressure to succeed, it's pressure to excel, And I was thinking, so, like, how do you think Andrew feels? Because both of his parents are doctors, right?
Wow.
Like, regardless, of course, she's a woman, she's caring, she's mothering, so she doesn't seem like the type that'll put that kind of pressure on you. Mm-hmm. But,
I got a whole second half of a family that you don't even really know.
But that's what I was about to say. But from, the picture that you paint of your father is like, yeah, it's some pressure on this side. Whether it's directly him verbally saying it or it's just you knowing who he is as a person to the point where he doesn't have to say it, but he's like, he can just give you a look. Like, man, this is it. I feel like you're a Godbold.
Bro, you
should be doing better.
You a Godbold. I was going to say the Godbolds as a whole.
Yeah.
Like I said, I went back to college, right? I was sitting in my kitchen, sitting there just bored one day. 2017, 2018 is when I went back in the spring. Those Januaries, I went back to semester. I had one full year left, one semester, so I could still train and do
what school?
Southeastern Louisiana. Okay. So I'm sitting in the kitchen and decided, you know what? I'm going back. I need to go back to school. Just thinking of my grandparents. They're getting old. And I'm sitting here doing nothing. And I want to train in Louisiana. I mean, start knocking some boxes together. So I booked a flight on Priceline. These days are gone. $80. Just, hey, Mom, going back to school. I just told her I'm going to Louisiana tomorrow to talk to my counselor. You just do this over? No. I need to go speak with her because I need to know make sure this is all right. I need to see people, look them in the eye, know I have a place to go, know that I have a setup. Had no return flight. Just went down, met with her, talked about my options, set it up. Went, saw some friends, saw some places. Okay, can I work here? Can I coach here? Can I live here? Yep. Flew back $81. Like those days are gone. Right? Just, I missed that. But it was also because I realized I wanted to be the first cousin to graduate from college out of my group. I wanted to give my grandparents, my family, something to be proud of, which is a thing that is part of that chip, like I say, where two black parents who are doctors, to tell them I want to go to JUCO, to a community college, to play baseball and chase this dream. That was like, I can't say it was like somebody trying to tell their parents they're gay, because I don't know what that's like, but it was a tough conversation to have in the sense of you're letting your parents down because the dream they have for you is not the dream you have for themselves. And to convince them, I was just absolute in my conviction. We talk all the time. We stand on what we believe in. My dad was like, all right, cool. I was not the best, not even close, but I believed it. So you sign any pro contract, we'll both get tattoos. I said, you're going to regret that. So my mom and I had the same tattoo. We share, believe. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on blast, but you earned it. My dad, he hasn't got his yet. He thinks he's slick. He already has it drawn up.
He owes you a tattoo.
He owes me. He owes me.
And he's in Arizona, right?
He's in Arizona. And so is Julius. But that is tough to get them. It's a whole other podcast.
But I'm just saying, that's like that's good. It's like to have your friend
who is my artist
on your dad.
Yep.
They both just happen to be.
And I have one artist. It's him. I go to Arizona. I just got another one Thanksgiving. Yeah. So he knows. I told him, I said, you die early, I'm going to make sure he puts it on you in the casket. You earned this. This is not a...
You got to make it a Tyson face tattoo. Seeing how, if I'm going to have to do this post-mortem.
Baseball right here.
Yeah, if I got to do this post-mortem, you're going to get that...
I tell him all the time.
That Gucci Man ice cream scoops.
Yes.
Right here.
Bet against me and see what happens. Yeah. Even John told me, our roommate, he was like, I'll never bet against you again, because every time I've said you ain't going to do something, you've done it.
Yeah.
Baseball, golf. I just put my mind to something and usually I can make it happen. But that's also the hard part about being an athlete, right? You're usually in control of the result. You might not be able to the outcome, but the result you can. Got here. I can do now. If somebody throws Pat Wobble and then the ball happens to bounce, whatever, that's different. But
you still can put the time in. You feel like you are, for the most part, in control of your own fate.
Yeah, not somebody else.
Yeah.
If I do this, this will happen. If I work my ass off here, people say, you work hard and get upper mobility and you might make it to the next level here. We'll get you more money. That's all hearsay. In athletics, you're not good. Be better. You work. You get better. You play. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a game. I'm better than you. Your numbers are less than mine. Well, we want to win. So we're going to play this guy. You know what I'm saying? And then once the money comes into it, that's where the politics and the opportunity starts to change. But even as a coach, I've benched kids. I have a standard as a coach. I require 100% effort, 100% focus. You can be the worst player. As long as you give me everything, I'll ride with you. If you're having a lazy practice as a senior and some freshman is out here working and I see you and you're not going 3 for 3 or hitting 5 for 5 from 3, okay, sit down. This kid has earned the right to play based on his performance. You have been coasting. And a lot of times that's the only wake-up call some kids need. But it's merit-based society is not a real thing. Athletics is the most unequal thing in the world because can you play? You don't deserve to be here, but you will get an opportunity.
And of course, like everything, it's politics involved. But yeah, like in general, if you're the better athlete, if you're the better talent, if you work harder, if you earn your spot,
you earned it.
For the most part, you get the time.
Mm-hmm.
You get the opportunity.
Doesn't always work like that. And then that's the hard part about transitioning into the workspace is because you feel, I mean, you've been conditioned for something that is not real. Like I say all the time, like the past few years, just in this mental struggle, it's been a lot of feeling like, talk about The Matrix. I mean, it's one of my favorite movies, pre-Andrew Tate, pre all the stuff. I've been talking about The Matrix for years. And how you feel like you're in this world that's not real. You've been shown and conditioned and taught this line of thinking that is just not true. And even taking athletics out of it, treat people the way you want, be kind, be nice, be thoughtful. All these things that don't get you to be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Those people end up here. The people that are willing to do what they gotta do and knock some people out of the way.
It was something I was reading. No, I was watching a podcast the other day, and they were talking about men in their midlife crisis. And, you know, it's a lot of women like, oh, you know, you just get older and you want a fancy car and you want to bang young chicks. And the guy was like, you know, a lot of what that really is, a lot of that is like guys who follow the program that society laid out for them. If you do this, if you work hard, you get the house, you get the car, you get the family.
401k, taxes.
You do all of this stuff, you know, you'll be happy, right?
And rewarded with success.
And be rewarded. And they finally hit this certain age and they realize all this hard work, all this time and effort, this love that I gave to this woman who divorced me and took half and all of this, it's like, it was all a lie.
It was a lie.
So why should I continue to keep doing, you know, for other people and putting myself second, third, and last on the list? No, I want this Corvette.
This motorcycle, yeah.
I want this motorcycle. I want this Ferrari. I want this, you know,
gambling
20-something-year-old, you know, girl. I'm gonna, you know, do this, and no, I'm not, you know, messing with chicks my age. And it's like, no, what am I doing this for? Because this is what society, you know, this is what whatever, you know, Friends or whatever TV show was on at the time.
It's the conditioning of your life
that conditioned them for.
Well, even think about like just school in general. School is really just conditioning you to be a good worker.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Yeah. But then if you start to think outside the box or ask questions or think abstractly or label, as you get older, that abstract thinking can be a very positive thing if you know how to contain it and allow it to work for itself.
If you know how to monetize it.
I don't even want to say monetize it because that implies that you're doing. I'm just saying, let's say in a job where you can't get more than what you're a contract, right? But you're eventually becomes monetization through the reward that the job gives you. But your abstract thinking might be the only person on your staff thinking this way. So everybody tells you in their fixed mindset that we've done it this way the whole time. This is just how it is. Just this is blah, 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 blah. But your idea is really something that can work. If you happen to communicate in a way, if they finally get on board with you, you're not going to get anything from that immediately, but they might recognize your worth later.
Even still, right, in the conditioning, all that is programming you to be a smart ant.
Yes.
Because you're still, you know, you have these ideas that can help the company.
And you're hoping for a reward on the back end.
As opposed to, I'm out. I'm doing my own thing.
That's a different world, though.
I'm building... Yeah, but like this is, we just were talking about what society conditions you for. It conditions you for
worker bee, yeah,
to be an ant, to be a worker bee, to be up under somebody in this, you know, in this company,
hoping for
mining coal or, you know, on the line put this lug nut in the tire and, you know, those.
Take your 20-cent raise and good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the building part, right? Because you know me, I've walked away from a lot of shit. And there was a time when I was playing ball where these people, these unarmed black men are getting killed at an alarming rate. And the team I was on at the time wanted to do a paint the ballpark blue night. They didn't talk to me, the other black guy on the team. They didn't ask us how we felt about that. So we're sitting there in the clubhouse like, bro, we shouldn't play. We should protest. This is prime Kaepernick era. You know, I knew the guy on the A's who took a knee. I don't know his name, but like, you know, I'd met him and we talked before. And you know, when you're black and conscious, you want to be what you talk about, right? Whenever there's an opportunity to stand on it, I like to stand on what I talk. And that's why the George Floyd stuff was hard for me because I felt like I should have been in the streets, but there was no like purpose, benefit at the time.
There was no end goal.
There was no, it wasn't like we were actually at war. Not like the Russians marching down Ukraine. You got to pick up and fight. It wasn't like that. But you feel like it is because of just our internal struggle, right? So that motivation sometimes comes and goes, right?
So the team wanted to paint the park blue?
Like paint the park blue, meaning like
I understand.
Yeah, so like it was a police night
in support of the police.
Yes, and it was a complete. And I had like a walk off or something that day. They tried to give me a shirt at the end because they took my jersey off. That was like support the blue or something. I took that shit right back down. Don't use me as a pawn for your shit. Hell no. Like you didn't even consult me.
But do you have issue with police in whole? Because that's like in support of support the blue. Like this is police in general.
It was a political statement being made because of the time period. And without getting into too many specifics, because I anticipate you becoming. So I don't want this to come back and have me naming names and trying. I'm not throwing shit on anybody. I got love everybody who I was with and gave blood, sweat, and tears to on my ride. Right. It was a very clear attempt because I was in a southern state that was not Louisiana. I was in a southern state that this is just a way to get people to pick a side, man. Don't use me as a person who does not subscribe to this because I am the people. I'm Freddie Gray. I am these motherfuckers. I've been you've been. I mean, I've been had guns pulled. I mean, I'm not even in life. Why are you coming up on me acting like I stole the car and that's mine? So like that type of stuff where it could end at any point. All you would do is come to us and go, hey man, look, we want to do this. How do you feel about this? We know this is happening. It affects you too. Would you mind being a part of blah, blah, blah? Like, that's all it takes versus just trying to set it up. And then and it wasn't even on the schedule. This wasn't a thing that was pre-season. They did this because of what was happening. So I'm saying, I don't want to be a part of that. But also my platform was not big enough for me to have that voice. But the fact that I was willing and was on the phone with my dad, what do I do? Because I don't want to be a part of this. And I preach this. So I should be willing to die for this. And in dying would have been me protesting the game, me and my boy, and potentially losing our careers. But being willing to do that and me knowing it, that's a fight or flight response. Because people talk, I'll do this, I'll do that. When the moment comes, they freeze, right? I've never frozen yet in my life. I've always reacted the way that I assume I would. And that moment from there on out, whenever I feel mistreated or disrespected or like I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing, I'm okay walking away and starting over. But it's because of that moment where I knew I worked my ass off of this. I would have given my life to get to the big leagues. I would have choked, thrown you in the river, take my big league contract and sit and be done with it. So to lose that, to be willing to lose that over a principle, let me know that then what I actually believe and say I stand on it, and it's not. I'm uncompromising about certain things.
So during those times, there was like defund the police and these movements, whatnot going on. So is that when they were like paint the thing blue, or was it around that kind of time period? I understand it was you said it was something around the George.
Once
Floyd
again, no, it wasn't George Floyd. It was before that.
It was before
that. George Floyd was just a separate incident. This is like 2016.
Oh, this is way before.
2017. Like I said, I think it was Freddie and Philando and I can't. There's too many of us for me to remember all the names, unfortunately. But
was this when
there was
in New York got choked out? That was selling the cigarettes on the sidewalk?
Sometime around there, yeah. And it was like these cops in Dallas had gotten shot by somebody, some random black dude who just decided, I'm going to shoot some cops, right? So it was black man, couple cops, but in different, but just the time. So then they took the cop point. All right, well, cops are being, like whataboutism. Like to me, whataboutism is some of the worst cop outs you can have. What about black on black? Stop it. That's not the issue we're talking about, right?
To throw that in there.
So that's another thing I felt like this is a big whataboutism that you're trying to get me, because all it takes is one picture of unknown black man in professional thing. Like now I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
I'm aware of the camera click and how powerful it can be, where you get me in this shirt after a game that I performed well in, smiling, and now I'm a poster boy. I did not ask for this.
So I know people in general would think somebody with the experiences that I've had with police from, who knows, probably first run-in preteen you know, with police, victim of police violence, you know, you would automatically assume, you know, I'd be like, oh man, fuck the police too. You know,
police are necessary.
Police are without a doubt necessary. People who be like, oh, you know, defund the police, get rid of the police. I have been in an environment that is somewhat minutely lawless, and it is survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
And people don't want that.
So defund the police is different.
People talking.
That whole get rid of the police thing is stupid. That's a talking point.
That is, yes.
That's why I didn't want to be a part of it.
That is not well thought out.
Well, defund the police is different. You giving $1.5 billion to a police like this in Chicago, right? You know, that's just $1.5 billion. Well, there are schools closing down. There are other things happening. So people see that and they go, well, if you keep giving these people money who keep doing this, and you're, you know, filling up these coffers for whatever they're called, whatever the cases are, that you know, settlements and stuff like that. The way I interpret defund the police is give them one. Unless you're hiring new cops and filling up the force, they don't need a tank. They have a tank. They don't need 5 tanks.
I was about to say, in Chicago, they might need 2 tanks,
right? We got 2 helicopters. Why we got 2 helicopters? We should have more helicopters. If you're gonna buy some helicopters, please. Cause every time I see it, you see me looking up. Okay, where's that thing going? Is it circling over here? Let me look at what's happening. Because I'm in the bar, I can't move. So what's happening in my area? What protest is going on? That's how I know what's going on. But if we had, instead of $2 billion for the police, you take some of that money and put it into school systems, some community centers. That's how I interpret defund the police. But I was still never on the defund the police train. I just understood it's like Black Lives Matter. The statement is what was supposed to be the message. Then you had a group of people who tried to capitalize financially on it, ended up making all of us look bad. I still stand by the statement, Black Lives Matter. Our life is not treated the same way in this country. So when people ask me, what about Black Lives Matter? I go, what about the statement? What do you disagree with about the statement?
You deny that Black Lives Matter?
Oh, well, what about the organization? That's a totally different question.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's kind of, so you want people as a whole, we'll say the organization as a whole, to be judged upon individuals. And that's kind of the same thing with police.
Yeah.
Right? It's like people look at the whole thing as get rid of all of it when you have some bad apples, right? And you can't get rid of all of it.
You can't get rid of it. You can't get rid of it at all.
You can't.
The system is the problem. People say the system. There is a system of racial prejudice. There's a system of over-policing and abuse of power. But absolute power corrupts absolutely. Everybody who acts like they would be the best cop in you know, whatever, doesn't understand what it's like to know that you can do whatever you want and get away with it.
Yeah.
In the smallest incident, you would take a piece of gum from, you know, a jar during Halloween. Take one. You take a handful. Well, that's you not policing yourself. It's very clear we need police because we know we can't be trusted as humans. We've proven it over time. As a whole, our human race is flawed. We will mess it up in a terrible, vicious, violent way for everybody with no police. The only problem is they need oversight. Well, how do you oversight those who are the oversight? That's the issue. Mm-hmm. It's like you said, correctional officers. Write the book. I keep saying right because that's the only way shit changes. But you are the oversight. They don't have it in the moment, right? That stuff takes time. Years later, the wrong person gets messed with and conversation had and dates a senator's wife. And okay, here we go. Now we're going to change some laws, right? But for 50 years, this one prison has been operating in this way without any, you know, without impunity because they can. Status quo never will change. Why would I change the status quo that benefits me to help you? This is why I look at Congress.
Yeah, there's no need to.
There's no need. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
Why would I put an age limit and a term limit on something that I've been working for 15 terms? I'm 85 years old as a senator.
Your child, your grandchild.
I'm getting rid of this.
Yeah. And that's Department of Corrections. It is a family affair.
In small towns, you say pop up just for the prison.
When I was on my way up here, I was just looking at all of them. Washington, Walden, Taylor. Like, yeah, these are a bunch of death camps, misery, suffering.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere.
And you say that with such a period at the end of it. Death camps, misery, suffering. But
that's what it is.
That's what it is. Why?
That's what it was.
Why?
That's the point.
That's the point.
And you know what? So who was I talking to this with about? But they were like, why are correctional officers so like abusive? Like, and this, of course, this isn't all. There's a few bad apples, right?
Yeah, but the system itself is designed.
Let me explain
for that,
something, right? So you have, we'll say, as a whole, you have a few bad apples, right? And you have a few good apples. Then the vast majority do absolutely nothing, right? And the ones who are doing nothing are basically enabling those bad apples to be really bad.
Like they're not snitching, but they're not telling them not to do anything. They're just kind of there.
They might be, watching the door while these two guys are kicking the inmates head in. You know what I'm saying? They could be an eyewitness to police officers, correctional officers, killing the inmate, and it's like, hey, I'm neutral.
But isn't that participating
they
in the bullshit?
didn't go in there and actually kill the inmate themselves, but they're not, gonna file any paperwork against these two particular ones, and the vast majority are the ones who aren't doing anything.
But is that not a bad apple?
Of course. Okay. Well, yeah, it is. It is.
Because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to stop that.
Yeah. Well,
you're supposed to say something. You officer of the law. You're supposed to have integrity.
A lot of these people, these prisons are in the middle of nowhere. This is the only job in town. You're either working at the sawmill or you're working at the prison. And when you're not going to risk your, I don't even know how much they're making. $35,000, $40,000 a year. You working at the sawmill, you might be making a third of that. Yeah. No, because you'll see it. When you see the new officers coming in, they're slim, they're thin. It's like they're starving. As soon as they get a few checks in, you can see their weight starting to go up. It's like, you were starving before you came here. Because there's no other real opportunities. These people don't have any real skills and
education, background.
They come in and they get this taste of power and this taste of authority, and they lose their mind. Here it is. Because think about how you would feel if you've basically been a nobody for your whole life. You're nobody. You don't have, you can't impose your will on people. Then you come to a job.
And nobody respects you. Now you have respect.
You come to a job and you could tell a chiseled 250-pound killer to shut up. Ain't nothing he could do about it. I mean, there's something he could do about it, but does he want to, risk what comes behind that? That goes to a regular Joe and Jane's head.
That's that power. Look at that. It's like TSA.
That's like, it is TSA.
It's TSA just in a small neighborhood.
It's funny.
Like TSA in a city, they're a prison.
It's funny going through TSA and seeing these people just act crazy for no reason, just because they can. But it's different because going through TSA, you can have a cell phone recording it. They could be acting a donkey with you in front of me, and I got the camera right here recording it. And there's going to be some type of repercussions behind that. There's none of that in prison. The only way you can try and reach out the right way is you do paperwork, right? I was at Charlotte. Charlotte's a psych camp. It's where they send the lunatics at. The officers are lunatics there, right? A lot of officer on inmate violence there. The proper procedure is officers doing something they're not supposed to do, you file grievances. And you go up the chains. Okay, you file this level, they deny it, you appeal, you go to this one, and so and so forth, right? But, and I've seen this, you file the first level of grievance, the lieutenant answers it, the lieutenant brings it to the officer that you're, inmate Render has just filed a grievance, I'm gonna give this to you, I'm gonna let you handle it. He's gonna go in there. He might. It's no telling, because they can do what they want to do there.
Well, he's got the grievance. Now your grievance isn't even going up the chain.
It's going nowhere. Yeah. It stops right there in his hand, as opposed to moving up the chain, right? And he may kill that inmate. He may have another inmate kill that inmate. It's crazy.
And the things you're talking about, stories you told me is one of the things about culture, that people will find a way to not hear what you're saying. I've told people 13th Amendment, slavery is still a thing on the books, and different experiences that I've had, even just something as subtle as the feeling when the police pull up behind you on the street, that they go, I don't want to believe that. I choose not to. I can't believe that. No, that can't be right. Instead of going, what? That needs to change. And that's also a problem, I think, is that people don't empathize. They're not able to look outside of themselves and their own status quo and realize how these things are happening. Because you've said this stuff before. I mean, I'm a prison guy in my life. I don't want to go. I'm very clear. I don't want to go to prison. I'm not. That shit is dead. There are decisions that are made and not made because I know at the other end of it is a story like that. I don't want no part of the story. But if I need to go, there are principles that will take you there. But it's also like, I would tell somebody that story and I can hear already certain people, I can't believe that. You can't believe it.
But it's because they don't have to believe it. It's outside of their experience and will probably never happen to them or anybody in their family. So it's like, they don't care. It's almost like a form of privilege.
It is, but they're also choosing not to. Yeah. I choose not to believe that is a thing. Or you're just being overly sensitive, or you're just making it up. Like, there are times where that's a thing, but not when it's these consistent. And that's why I keep saying, write the book. Because your face, along with your size and your words, are the thing that changes it. Because somebody that looks like you is not the person you would expect to have these stories and be able to articulate them as well. Meanwhile, some Mexican mafia MS-13 tattooed guy comes out speaking these stories. They're more likely to believe the parts of it, but they're also going to look at them differently because they go, oh, look at him. He deserves that. He did that to himself. Nobody can do that to you visually. They can't do it to you hearing. They can't do it to you verbally. Like, the only thing they can say about you is you big and you scary. But you're not. You you look like a normal, quote unquote, person with this crazy life story.
Crazy story.
That would be a judgment. You know what I'm saying? If you put yourself on paper versus you walking into a room for an interview, one of them is getting cut. The other one's getting the job. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just a tough.
And even when it's people that I know or that I want to get to know, like, I have to let them learn who I am first before, I check that box on this particular application. Were you a felon? Yeah, we ain't gonna check that box just yet. I'm gonna let you see who I am first over time. Then maybe I'll share the story. But quite often what that does, it makes them look at other people differently as well.
Yes.
Because they have this,
predetermined notion of what a felon
in
is.
their mind. Oh, this is the type of person. Oh, they're no good and they've been to prison and they do this. And, and there's quite a few people who I've come across who them getting to know me has absolutely changed them and their opinion of people like me.
Yes.
And a lot of these people are in position to make a change in people's lives, right? Like, for instance, when I first get out, I go for a job interview. It's relatively big company. And, they were kind of like, it was kind of like they don't want to automatically discriminate. They're probably not going to hire me because they see the check on the box. But, we're not going to discriminate just based on that. So, yeah, give me an interview, call them on in, and we'll probably not hire them anyway. Go in there, they listen to me, we talk. Of course, I have a physical presence as well, and it was like, you know what? I like you. I'm going to give you a chance, right? Go, I work, I knock it out the park. I'm doing the job of 2 to 3 people. Because really, they had 2 to 3 people before me. They saw what I was doing, so they kind of just let me do the work of 2 to 3 people. Then when I left, because they didn't want to give me help, they hired 2 to 3 people as well. But once I left, they were like, you know what? I like the impression that he made. I like what he did. I like his work ethic. let's see if we can bring some more people in and give them an opportunity too. And now they have a whole program. They bring these guys in out of prison. They give them skills. They help them get their CDLs. They help train them with forklift driving, and it's a thing. One of my partners, same thing. He did 26 years in prison. Got his sentence overturned on a fluke. That's great. One of the guys who, I know, he was like, he's owns a huge company. He's like, man, if you know guys who need an opportunity, who, you trust, bring them in. I give them a job. We'll train them up to where they'll be making $100,000 a year within the first few years. If they continue their own education, they show some initiative, they'll be making $150,000. These guys who make their way up, are getting paid $50 an hour.
To drive trucks?
No, not to drive trucks. This is something else. Okay. Yeah. And he is, the dude who did the 26 years. He's in that position because of how some of these people in power positions have been swayed by getting to know me.
Yeah. I mean, I think the same thing with me and being in the South, being black and from Chicago. I've had former teammates tell me I was racist. I had a lot of prejudices and thoughts before I got to know you, and you changed those. And it's kind of like that responsibility, even going back to what we talked about at the beginning, being a Godbold, my family, and that pressure, right? You have to be, I don't say the change that you want to see, but you have to be a representative for more than just yourself at all times, and you don't have the ability to slip and not be that. Because after if you mess it up, somebody else may never get a chance. But if you can show somebody something different, somebody else after you might get an opportunity. You know what I mean? Like even when I came to school here, I didn't care about school in high school. High school was dumb to me. I felt like my intelligence is not judged off of these things on paper, right? Certain teachers who knew that I was smart and challenged me to be better, and those are the ones that helped me, but I did not care. College, I started to figure out, okay, let me just do my work. Let me just learn. I like to learn. Let me start learning some things. Okay, this is dumb. Bad teacher. Like psychology. First time I had psychology, I failed it. I was post-surgery, my first knee surgery. Pain meds, bad teacher, bad combination. Took psychology again, thinking I hated it. Realized I loved to have a minor in psychology. Love it. Teacher was the reason that happened. Same thing with history and African American studies and stuff like that versus even math. Hate math. My last teacher here was the best. I learned something.
A good teacher makes all the difference in the world.
But also coming to Louisiana and realizing that there was a time where I was not allowed to be here. I was 4.0. I had 3.8, 4.0, president's list, all that. Was not going to waste the fact that there are people who died for me to be here, understanding that some of these trees I'm looking at that are super old have some memories of people that look like me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So how dare I not thrive in this opportunity that was not there? I can't take it for granted. I can't say this is just for me.
That's crazy to think about that. Because now I'm thinking about that oak tree that was in the back of that lady's yard.
Walking by, I was like, that oak tree knows some stories, man.
Yeah.
Oldest trees in the world, according to her. Some of. That's never lost. That's never lost on me whenever I'm in the site. I told you there's a plantation called Godbold Plantation in South Carolina. One of my fantasy dreams goes Baker Mayfield a flag right on that thing. This is mine. Obviously, it's not mine, but I'm letting you know that hey, this is from where I come from. People ask me, "Where are you from?"
Who knows?
I don't know, man. I'm not blessed to know. What's your history? I don't like the term African American. I know too many white people who are African American that don't have to check the box. You know what I'm saying? I consider myself a Black American, Black or an American, but I don't want to be qualified as anything else, but nobody else has to be.
So we're coming to the end of 2023. What are you looking forward to in 24?
I was just talking about this the other day. I think I sent you that meme. Said you haven't heard many people saying 2024 is going to be my year.
It's going to be my year.
We've learned our lesson.
They've learned. But that's not what I'm asking you. I'm not asking you if 24 is going to be your year.
I'm just thinking about like, what is it?
Just kind of like, what do you? I'm sure you have a direction.
I do.
You have an obvious direction.
I do.
It might be some other things that you're trying to spin as well.
Well, I mean, obviously, I wanna compete professionally. I got my new clubs that just came in. Got this new job, trying to get that off the ground. I think my goal is to be.
What's the new job?
Work at a place called Smart Golf and Fitness. It's in Lincoln Park in Chicago. It's a premier indoor golf facility. We got 7 TrackMan bays, a full gym upstairs, athletic trainers, golf professionals, MAT specialists, which is muscle activation techniques, and a physical therapist as well. And I started there as a client. This is what made me, this place that got me really good at golf, allowed me to win my first tournament. The best student they ever had over that time period. Now I'm on the staff, right? That's another one of those paths that's just unconventional. So my immediate goal is to become just financially stable, be able to make some money golfing. But really I want to become the premier golf coach, black golf coach in the city of Chicago. Because indoor facilities like I work at, that I'm blessed to be a part of, don't exist many places, especially in Chicago. You got entertainment, Top Golf, 5-iron. You don't have focused coaching and training.
And considering that the weather is disgusting in Chicago
Most times.
For a nice portion of the year.
6-7 months, yeah.
Having a premier indoor facility is...
It's beautiful. It's great. I mean, it's great. And I think that me being me, I can actually make that happen.
And working now.
Yes, but also I want to compete. Yeah. I have to compete. Yeah. So now, last year I played my first professional tournament. My goal is to not come in last, be 10 under or 10 over or better. Both hit, great. Now we set new goals, right? I think learning to compete is a real thing. Where
crank it up a little bit. Well,
then I tried out for the Illinois. I tried to qualify for the Illinois Open. Shot even in a tournament. Never done that before. Missed it by 4 strokes. I didn't make any by 32 putts. I didn't make any putts. Like 4 putts fall in. I'm in. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy how you can be right there but so far away. So this year my goal is to be competitive. I don't want to say win because I could play my best golf ever every round and still lose. That's the thing about golf. There's no defense. Mm-hmm. So your personal best might be 2 strokes less than this guy's, so you did your job. So as long as I'm competitive and it makes a little bit of side money playing golf, cool. But those are probably my 2 2024 goals, get that off the ground and, like I said, start the process towards becoming the best, the top black golf coach in the city. And unfortunately, I have to say top black golf coach. A lot of good golf coaches. There's not very many who look like me that are in my position with my history. Like I think my mental side of athletics and training is unmatched. I think people don't think like me and are able to communicate that to other people and get that dog out of them. And I'm not just doing it for the money. I'm not just doing it I can't just do things for keep the lights on. You have to want, like I said, to improve. And I want to be there as you do it. I want to drag you to success.
So it's funny you say that dog, right? At first, my initial reaction was like, man, that dog ain't no dog in golf, man. Get out of here, man. Fuck you talking about, man. That dog in you, man. Ain't no dog in golf.
That dog.
But
it's a struggle.
It's easy to get down on yourself. You're got a few bad swings, you miss a few easy shots, and mentally, you're out of it.
You went to nationals with me. You saw it.
That's where the dog comes in at. It doesn't necessarily have to be a physical dog. You don't necessarily have to be biting somebody else in the neck.
It's mental.
To be a dog, you're being a dog on yourself.
Well, you were there walking the course.
Let off a little steam, and then, bitch, I'm right back in it.
Never out.
Yeah.
I'm from 44th to 4th that weekend.
The next swing gonna be the best swing.
That's it.
Yeah.
What about you?
I fuck with it. 24. So an ongoing thing for me is just to focus more on business, man. When I look at myself, when I internalize, right? It's like I'm almost more of like an artist or the talent, you know what I'm saying? And I have to know how to capitalize, how to monetize my talent. Because I have numerous gifts. It's just how to be more business minded, right? And even still, like I just know who I am as a person. Like, I don't value money like that, right? But I do want to be able to do certain things, right?
Financial stability.
It's not even financial stability, right?
Or freedom.
For me, it's the more that I have, it's like the more that I can give. The more that I can help other people, you know. So in order for me to be able to help more people, I have to do more. I have to accomplish more, then I can make a bigger difference. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
Because it's not...
I love that you're saying it, because now I can say it again. Write the book. Start writing the book.
I'm going to do an audio, man. This is the book right here, man.
Man, stop playing with me.
This is chapter 72. I'm just bouncing around. We'll get to chapter, 12, and then come to chapter 80. And
hey, man, you start writing.
Chapter 1, Because I think about that, because you say that often. Your mom says, write the book often. It's a few other people. And it's like, bro, where would I start the book? I think about that a lot.
It's an anthology. It's an anthology. I told you.
I actually like to write. It was, no, because you were sitting at the bar with Angelo.
Today? Oh, yeah,
yesterday. So your mom was talking about how when we first started communicating, right? I'm in prison, I'm writing her, it's year 11, year 12, something like that, once me and her finally started communicating. And she was like, damn, who is this that writes like this? She's like, the grammar, the punctuation. She's like, clearly, this is not what I was expecting. This is not what I would expect to be coming from a prison cell. I'm actually like a good writer. But to write a book,
it's going to take time. And you don't have to have a direction. Here's my thing about you and your storytelling. You're an elite storyteller. You are an elite wordsmith. You have a great way with words. You understand how to tell a story. You have great lead-ins. You got great swerves. You also have a way of painting a picture that is special. It's on like that Chappelle, Barack Obama level of, I can guide you through this story. Chappelle more specifically, because Obama's doing the oration, but Chappelle is the greatest storyteller of our generation, in my opinion. And you have the ability to stand in front of an arena and walk people. I think 20,000 people, you could walk through a story, and they would all get the vision of what you're trying to say. My thing about the book is that, like you say, affect people. You could do it on tape. You could stand in front of the camera, and just talk. And that's like Colin Cowherd. He's phenomenal. He's there talking alone. Not Skip Bayless. His podcast is not the same. Stephen A. I love watching Stephen A. Just talking alone. People can talk alone and keep you invested. Yeah. But for you, your ability to use words is why I want it on paper. Because a video can be skipped through. It can be sectioned out. You get lost. If you just start writing, or just even if you start verbalizing your stories and then you organize them later, you've told me probably 40 stories in the past 7 years that have been crazy. I'm talking like for what? And we went to Costa Rica. I remember sitting at that table with y'all. We were in the backyard. I think we're somewhere out there. I'm looking around this room at these convicts with stories that are not being told. And just like, man, this is some of the best times of my life with a group of people that I never would have thought that I would enjoy being around, being safe and learning from and hearing all of you tell these stories about your times with smiles on your faces that aren't because the time was good, but it's because of where you are now. And for people to see where you are now, hearing these tragic stories allows them to go, wait a minute, who else is back there that's not going to get a chance to tell me the story because he's being kicked out of a wheelchair by a correctional officer and killed in the shower.
Oh, you remember that?
Of course I remember that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, I remember. I don't forget most things you tell me. Yeah. Like when I tell you my big brother, I listen to you. I hear you. I've been trying to break down you've let a lot of walls down around me for you, but it took me time to pick at you to find out what was really going on inside of you. Even for you to use the word trauma, You tell me something about like it's probably trauma from. I was like, whoa, that's growth. Because whether or not something is a negative or a weakness, not the same thing as a traumatic experience. A scar is trauma. It's healed. The scar tells a story. Doesn't mean that scar affects your body in any way other than what you see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
still
saying?
function, but it's
Still
there.
function, but it's there. And the story behind the scar
memory.
is a life-changing moment most times.
Yeah.
You got a lot of those that I feel like you have a responsibility to the world, not just to yourself, not to America, to the world of people who are like you to just expose it. Just tell them. Well, regardless of what happens, those stories, these are like Joe Rogan. But the best thing to be, if you got on Joe Rogan and could just talk, that would change a lot. Now, obviously, that's a huge, huge platform. But that's how, other than that, you don't have that ability yet. So the book is how you get to Joe Rogan. But that's what the world needs. The world needs you telling these stories. And that's why I'm glad you do this. Because it's a start.
They're coming. They're coming.
Oh, you remember that.
And what's crazy is like, a lot of my stories has to be something to spark it to make me think about it.
Mm-hmm. You got too many.
Because, it's like, that's not even, what you even talk about is not even at the front of my mind. Like, I might have completely forgot about that.
Until you start going on it would have been the location. I would have brought up the location or something. And then that would have triggered you to say, oh, that camp was hell. Because these correctional officers, oh yeah, I remember the time where they did this and they gave me this thing with, all this and they turned the heat up and I can't, I'm laying on the ground because it's so hot in here. And then my cellie's over there. I told them stay over there because I don't want you, like all that little stuff that nobody thinks about. Even when we were in college, they took us to that prison in Texas. I told you, going into that cell, I sat down on the bed, thought of you. I was like, take a moment and feel this. But the door was open. So I could leave. I knew it. I was like, this is as close as I ever want to get to experiencing anything that you have. But holy shit, if that door closed, I don't know how it would have, like my whole world would have shook. I would have been a different person. 5 minutes in there, oh man. 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years? Nah.
It's always funny to me when people, they might have a public drunkenness or a DUI or something, and they might just be talking around me. You'd be like, man, I went to jail for 48 hours and man, I don't know how people do it. Man, I was in the drunk tank. I was drunk. I wasn't even sober for 3 hours.
In the tank.
And almost lost my mind. I don't see how people do all those years in prison and they're just talking. They don't even know who's sitting right here or who they're talking to. I'm like, yeah, I could imagine. That's pretty tough.
Yeah. Man, tell me more about your time.
Yeah. What? Man, what did they feed you? They feed those guys in there?
Yeah, you told me you was like, I don't eat meat. Oh, like, well, that must have been a struggle. I don't eat this. Like, well, now you're just cutting it down. Even you basically on a hunger strike at one point. Like, working out every day, lunging, running. I'm not eating
on
that.
beans.
I'm not eating that. Why would I make this harder on myself? But that's just...
So, let's talk about that. The not eating meat, right? So, I go vegan for 7 years, right? So, really what that means is like, you have to go on a specific diet, right? Because what they were feeding the majority of the compound, they were transitioning to this fake type of meat, which is not even transitioning. It was here.
Like Spam?
Yes, right. But it's like, I don't know, it's fake meat and it has a lot of, I don't even know. I know one of the things is like
nitrates, sodium.
It has like soy. It got just, and guys were starting to develop cancerous polyps on their intestines. Right? Mm. All of a sudden, now these guys got to get their intestines cut out, right? Because they're giving us fake food. It's not real meat.
They're poisoning you.
And this is the big thing, is they stopped giving us fresh fruit on our trays, right? So it's like we're already tightly enclosed. So when flu season comes around, everybody's getting sick. So it is just like survival of the fittest. If you have a
Any
less
immunocompromisation.
than good immune system, you are going to get crushed at least once a year, probably 5 or 6 times a year, about who knows what that's circulating, because everybody's right on top of each other. You know, we eat off the same spoons. They go through the window in the back, and the guys in the kitchen, they don't want to be there.
No.
They don't care about scrubbing this plate and this spoon to make sure it's perfectly clean. And no, when you get, it's dinner time, it's still grits on the spoon from breakfast. You know?
Yeah.
So I want my vitamin C. This is Florida. They grow oranges right over there. I need that orange, you know, to keep my immune system. I need my vitamin C. So I just gave up, like, the taste of everything, because the vegan food is the worst. You know, you got beans on 2 of the 3 trays you get a day. And they're never the fresh beans. They're always the leftover beans from the compound. So it might be a day old. They might be a week old. So you got to make a habit of smelling your beans before
Stirring
you eat
them
them,
up.
because they're going to be sour. Not stirring them. You need to smell them to check to see if they're even fresh. Because a lot of the stuff that you get is old, right? And if you don't like it, then you just don't eat. You know, you have to have that discipline. Because the food that the compound is getting, yeah, it tastes better, but down the line, it's actually killing these guys.
The compound meaning.
The compound is, you know, everybody. The prison itself is a compound. So all the inmates that are there, the food that everybody's getting, you know, so like breakfast, they'll have that fake meat in some type of gravy. You can put it on your biscuits. That same meat will have a little ketchup sauce on it. They give it to you at lunchtime in some form of spaghetti. Then you have that same meat again for dinner, and it might be in a stroganoff. And
God. Stroganoff. No.
so, and it's
the
just
word stroganoff.
Oh my goodness!
No.
So you could imagine prison stroganoff. It's just, it looks, oh, it's horrible.
Strogy.
So, yeah, so that's why I had went vegan for years, right? And it's just like, bro, 2 times a day, because I used to love my breakfast. Breakfast, you're getting basically like, not really fried potatoes, but you're getting some pretty well done potatoes, and you're having grits or oatmeal and peanut butter. You get that every day. And you know me, I can eat the same thing.
Yep.
I can eat the same thing every day, and I'm fine with that.
Scale. Peanut butter and oatmeal, man. That's your
Peanut
thing.
butter, oatmeal, peanut butter, and grits every day for years. And you know, people ask, like, you know, where does your discipline come from, and how do you do this, and blah blah. And it's like, you know, you have to make a choice. You know, if you know that this is killing you, oh, but it tastes good, you know, what am I gonna eat? What am I, a rabbit? You know, I'm gonna eat carrot coins all day and cabbage, and no, I'm gonna eat this, you know, beef stroganoff. I'm gonna eat this, you know, this spaghetti meat, this turkey ham salad. Oh, it's guys who, like my friends, well, if you just mention turkey ham salad, turkey chicken salad, but they probably have like a gag reflex, because they can visualize it.
Yeah.
They remember this, having to go down to the chow hall because they have no food in their locker, they have no money on their accounts, and they feel like they have to eat. Like, sometimes I just wouldn't eat.
So do you think that, obviously you're stubborn. You are disciplined, but you are stubborn.
Okay, we'll call it stubborn.
I'm not. They're different. They're different things. I'm just saying, like, as a stubborn person, I know I got you, right? Like, you just saying, nah, man, I'm not going to, no.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, make me cuff up. That type. That's just stubborn, right? But the ability to not eat and to follow a diet is discipline. Okay, I'm stubborn. Discipline comes and goes. Do you think that?
So remind me to come back to stubborn and not cuffing up. Okay, do I think that?
I was gonna say, like, the environment of prison is so stressful already that now you're getting bad food you don't want to eat, food that tastes bad. How did you make it through that while being hungry and upset about that? Because you're making up, you know, a decision on your diet, well, they're not allowing you to necessarily follow that in the best way. Now it's hot. Now somebody pisses you off. Now you're not eating. Now you're not getting your, now you're working out. Now you're really tired. Now you're sore. Now you're hot again. And now somebody knocks over. Like, where's that?
It all accumulates. But you know what? You have to have the foresight to look way down there. Because, when this one little stone, if you get caught up or tripped up on this, you're not going to make it here,
Well, you're making a decision based on life, so you're just thinking about that too.
Yeah, I'm thinking about 2023. I'm thinking about 2023 and 2000. If I choose that, of course, it's not 2000 with the vegan diet, but okay, but even still, certain things are accumulating. It's hot. Because there's no AC in prison, guys. Not in Florida prisons. There's no AC. So it's hot 9 months out of the year. Officers are jugging at you, messing with you. Inmates, it might be a problem or whatever. It's like, okay, if I bust this guy in the head, do I want to risk doing 10 more years? 15 more years? I got to be conscious of this stuff. Sometimes you just, your anger flares up and boom. It's gone. You don't think about anything, right? And that happens in that environment, right? You just have to minimize these mental explosions.
Did you have time added on?
No. Well. So I didn't get all of my game time, meaning I didn't do the least amount of time possible, right? So I got sentenced to 20 years. The minimum I could do on that is 17 years, right? You have to be on good behavior to gain time off of your sentence, right? So all it takes is 9 years of good behavior to get 3 years off your sentence.
Consecutively.
Over time. You have 17 years to accumulate 3 years of time off your sentence. Okay. And I couldn't do that.
You got 2.5 almost.
It's not 3.
It's not 3.
It's not 3.
But it's not an out of 10.
No, I didn't. That's what I'm saying. So I did more than I had to, but I didn't catch an outside charge.
Got it.
Right.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Considering what could have been.
Like what I tell people, I did 2 years in confinement.
Yep.
In the box.
Total.
Not at one time. Probably the most at one time.
6 months.
No, hell no, not 6 months.
Hell no.
I think 6 months is a long time.
6 months is a long time in the box. In this room,
it's
6 months.
It's more than 60 days. So somewhere between 2 and 3 months is the most I've done
solo
at one time. Usually you have a roommate,
which could be good, could be bad.
Which is quite often bad. Quite often, you gotta think, right? You're already in prison, so these are delinquents. Then you got people who can't follow the rules in prison, in the box with you. So these are the delinquents. So yeah, a lot of times you'd rather be in the room, staring at the wall by yourself, than to have this person who just aggravates.
Question mark.
Because it's a very small space. So you have to know how to move in the small space without getting on each other's nerves, right? Because you can only lay in the bed for so long. So you're going to want to get up. You're going to want to move around. But if you're on the bottom bunk, you're going to want somebody just standing over your head, looking out the window. Like, man, get your motherfucking, stop standing over top of me. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you have to be aware of what's acceptable behavior in these confined walls, and it's also like, it's the golden rule. Like, if you don't want somebody standing over your head, then don't stand over somebody else's. It's a lot of, I definitely learned a lot about respect there. Because I didn't really, I had my grandfather as a father figure, but he was more so in the first, the
my Big Daddy?
0 through, no, my mother's dad. 0 through 10 or 11. He was kind of really a part of it. Then, those teenage years was nothing. And those are the years that you need the father figure. You know, you're learning how to be a man. You know, so all I had was either what I'm seeing on TV, you know, what seems to me as how a man should conduct themselves, and like my friends' stepfathers. Because of all my friends in the neighborhood I grew up with, I can't think of anyone whose real dad was them. They were either raised strictly by their mom or there was a stepdad there, right? So, but in prison, you have to learn respect, or it's just going to be a major problem. It's going to be super hard for you. Can't do it. You learn the hard way.
I'm saying that you got to figure it out. Talking about little stuff too.
And it's funny, man, because even nowadays, you know, I could be at a restaurant and somebody reaches across to grab the salt and shit. That'll get you punched in the mouth. You reach over my plate, you know, it could be something as simple as talking at the table. Hey, man, don't be talking over my food. Man, fuck wrong with you, man? Don't be talking. You don't even know.
What happened?
You don't even know what happened. Wow. You know? You got people who live to give these life lessons.
You got much else going on?
They don't. You got people who live to kill in them.
They're in there.
Been sitting around, you know, them old school cats. Damn, I ain't killed nobody in 10 years.
The Penn story, that was...
Woo. Which one?
The special forces guy you said had
yeah. So no, it wasn't. So there was this older black guy where he was, you know, he was at the Rock. The Rock is one of those legendary prisons back in the day. It's like, you know, Mount Vesuvius or something. No, Mount Olympus.
There you go.
It's like an epic when you hear about the stories that go on in the life that they lived up there, right? And but these two guys tried to kill him. But they didn't know that, you know, this guy was souped up. So they try and stab him. And as he's telling me the story, he's like, a knife? I don't need a knife. They brought the knife to the fight. I took their knife, and he killed one and seriously wounded the other. And they gave him life for that.
That's the part that's crazy.
He had a release date. He was going home.
That's the part that makes no sense.
And now he's never going home.
That's that bullshit.
He was old. He was old when I met him. In amazing shape. He was probably late 60s, early 70s. He could probably run 5-6 miles on the track, get on the pull-up bar, 15 to 20 pull-ups every set, dips, squats, lunges, amazing shape. Didn't mess with anybody. Didn't, you know, pretty much speaks when spoken to, very polite, you know, but. And you know what's weird is that he has a pretty happy energy to him.
It's why how you talk about that too a lot. People inside with this energy and these ways about them and the shape. Obviously, people are in shape because they need something to do for time, but it seems like a waste. You're doing all this preparation for something that's like he's never getting out, and it's not even right that he's not getting out because he just finished what somebody else started.
So this is the thing about knowing that you're never getting out. Right? You really don't know. You know?
You've said that before too.
Anything can happen. You need to be prepared for this anything. You can have 30 life sentences. You go out on the rec yard and that fence just falls down. You need to be ready for that.
You gone?
Oh, especially in the beginning, I was gone.
Yeah.
And I have a release date. I was out of there. Yeah.
You said in the beginning.
So you need to be ready for that. Like my homeboy who I got the job, right? He got out on a fluke. All his legitimate, you know, motions that he filed to the court over legitimate grounds, they denied. Nope. Yeah, no, I know. Now that, you know, you have a witness saying that you actually weren't there at the scene of the crime, but yeah, no, we're denying this. Denied. You'll die in prison. 26 years later, he just throws something in there. He's like, man, I didn't expect him to. He's like, I'm just keeping something in the courts. They ruled on it, bang, I'm out on the street. So completely didn't expect it.
Yeah, now you're just out here.
And now he's out here after 26 years, but you know what? Physically, he was in good shape. You know, he wasn't like a workout machine or whatever, but he's an able-bodied man even after all of those years in prison. Because he wasn't really young when he went to prison. Like really young, like me, a teenager. You know, I think he was like in his mid to late 20s. So that puts him in his early 50s, getting out. And most people, you know, 26 years if you're 21.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like, damn, if you had got out at 50, that would have been some shit.
Be tragic. But you have to be an exceptional 50-year-old.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was fortunate enough to see examples of exceptional 50-year-olds in there. They're there. You know, I knew this one dude, Pop Nate, right? Pop Nate's been in prison as of now. He's still alive. I just looked him up not too long ago. He's been in prison since I think the 50s.
I think you sent me him. I think you sent me his jacket.
He's been in prison since the 50s. You know, I might be on the rec yard working out. Old Pop Nate come running around the track. JR, what's going on, JR? Get on the pull-up bar, hit 10, 15, boom, he's gone again. Come back around the track, hit the dip bar, boom, going again. But boy, JR, who got that reefer? I want to smoke something, man. Man, Pop Nate, man, you know what if they piss test shit, man? Fuck that shit, man. Man, you know the parole board coming up, man, them bitches ain't gonna let me go, man. I don't give up, man. I ain't even going up there. You don't even go to, when the parole board calls him up, they don't even go up there no more. He's been in prison at least since the 60s, I believe since the 50s.
And he's got a date?
No, he doesn't have a date.
Oh, well then, okay.
But
he's lost hope.
But he's living in his reality, right? This is reality. You get tired of these people lying to you, going up here in front of the parole board. Oh, you know, if you just do this and do that and, you know, come back in 4 years and, you know, we might let you go. So you do all their requirements. They come up with some new requirements. Do this. Oh, no, we're going to deny you based on this. But come back in 5 years. Come back in 10 years. It's 40 years later. Bro, I'm tired of you playing with my emotions, playing with my feelings, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to let me go.
Yeah, just say you're not going to let me go.
Because if you, for one, the parole board in Florida, they don't parole people like that now. They banned it. So it's only people who are arrested from whatever year. I don't know what it is. Maybe, we'll just say a year. 90. Everybody who from 1990 on back are the only ones who are eligible. So if you've paroled all these people out, there's really no, hell no. There's always, they're going to make sure there's people inside. But there's no need for having this parole board. Right? So this is you denying all these people getting out is job security for you. Having these people keep coming back. Oh yeah, of course. Oh yeah, we have 500 interviews to do this year, and of these potential guys and come in and man, bro, 10. It is so many of these old school guys who are parole eligible who have done nothing in the last 30 years. They have been perfect inmates for 30 years, and they ain't letting them go anywhere. That's why I was like, you know, when I went in, they did the math. It's like, yeah, you know, you got 20 years. You know, if you walk on these eggshells, you'll do 17. Like 17. So you think I'm going to walk on eggshells, tap dance, brown nose, kiss your ass for me to do 17 years?
Yeah, cuff up.
Nah, yeah, I'm going to do it my way.
Cuff up.
Right. So back to the stubborn.
You talking about cuff up, boy.
Back to the stubborn and, you know, refusing to cuff up, right? So all your interactions between other inmates, between inmate and officers, it's like it's an ongoing game of chess, right? And whether it be dealing with the officers, dealing with inmates, if you portray yourself as a bitch, you will be treated as a bitch, right? And I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I like to see them officers, you know, they acting all tough and, you know, because they're used to people bowing down to them when they say something, you know. Damn it, you know, turn around and cuff up. Inmate was just mad because they're scared if they refuse to cuff up, they're gonna get another 30 days, another 60 days, you know. So it's like, you know, this is somebody who I've had issues with before, and they're like, turn around and cuff up. And I know I'm going to have to deal with this person later on, right? So
Yeah,
when I'm like,
setting the tone.
so I'm setting the tone. Nah, you want the cuffs on, you put the cuffs on. I'm not turning around and cuffing up. Now I see that boldness in their eyes is turning to fear.
Yeah.
Now you're the bitch. Now you have to live with yourself. You feel, damn, I just became a bitch. Now I got to call for help. Yeah, call for help. Because you ain't doing this. So it's not necessarily being stubborn. It's about there's a message that needs to be sent. Because you ain't going to be trying me any kind of way.
I feel you.
So, and I might have told this before on the podcast, but at the same prison I was at, right? I was known to be a handful with the officers, but there was a level of respect that they had for me, right? Because they know it wasn't going to be just any bullshit, but I ain't just go for anything.
Yeah, there was a catalyst. There was a reason for something.
So there was a dude who was from Tampa. He got in some trouble, and when they put the handcuffs on, but once he put the handcuffs on, now he wants to buck, meaning like resist.
It's too late.
It's a bad time to do that.
Yeah.
So, and officers are in no kind of physical shape anyway. So he kind of snatched away from one and they tripped over their own feet and fell, and now you have an assault on the officer. Mm-hmm. Now when they get you back here in confinement, they're going to put their feet, their boots in his ass, right? So somebody's like, hey man, Jay, man, I think his name was Mario. Mario, man, he bucked and blah, blah. And so the dorm I was staying in was confinement. So there was a sergeant, you could tell he was one of them old ex-military type. He still had the cut, in shape, older. And I saw him, he was part of the ones bringing him back there. And I was like, and I told him, I said, bro, if I'm going to keep checking on him back in the box, if y'all do anything to him back there, it's going to be a problem. And he's not the type for you to just be throwing threats out there and whatever. He looked me in the eyes. He ain't say anything. Kept going, took him back there. I used to check on him from time to time. They're like, no, I'm good. I'm fine. Yeah. Now they shipped him somewhere else. And who knows what happened now. Because it's for them, it's like a brotherhood. Mm-hmm.
They write receipts. Go ahead and get this.
Yeah, they see the paperwork. Oh, you assaulted an officer at, this camp. Boom, 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 boom. They're going to beat your ass here while you're still in the box. Go to another camp because you're in transit, so you're going to stop at certain places. You make the next stop. Oh, you assaulted the officer. Boom, 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 boom. There's nothing I can do about that.
Yeah.
But had I not established myself at this particular time, who knows what would happen?
Who knows what would happen, yeah.
And it's going to be more of an emotional beatdown at the prison where we're at. Because they look on the paperwork, oh man, that's my cousin, that's my sister, that's my wife, that this particular thing happened to, because they're all, everybody's related some type of way in these little small towns.
Yeah.
Working now, So it's going to be more of an emotional beatdown here. Now he goes
bad.
to the next
Yeah.
camp.
It's just a part of the thing.
It's
protocol.
Just, it's just business. Yeah, turn around, we're going to give you 5 minutes of ass whooping, and then, we're gone.
Did you get jumped on?
Never. Surprisingly. Never.
I think I've never asked you that before.
Never.
I've
had enemies trying to jump me.
Of course.
But not officers. Yeah. Surprisingly.
Maybe that's because they didn't want to catch you alone one time.
Man.
Oh, y'all gonna beat my ass? All right. I already know.
Oh, my goodness.
I already know.
I remember I got sent to the box one time. It was like some disrespect or whatever. They were like, I didn't say yes, sir, yes, ma'am. It was something stupid, right? I was still young, so I was 20 on down. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to fuck this officer up. I'm going to fuck this bitch up when I catch him, right? I'm going to catch him.
In the box, just festering, walking back and forth, ready.
This is the box is gone. I'm on the compound. I'm trying to
figure
out.
Okay.
Trying to figure out how I can do it. Because they don't really have, especially at this time, there's not a lot of cameras around and shit. So finally, it's one day, it's wintertime, it's cold up because in the pan. So
it's cold, yeah.
I got my jacket on, I got the collar flipped up, I got the little hat on, you know what I'm saying? Going up, so we're going in the chow hall. So it's just him by the door, right? So it's chow hall's a long building. it's windows, but it's bright inside, it's dark outside. So you can't see from inside out. He's standing by the door. There's nobody else out here. There's an officer who's around the back of the thing, but he can't see.
He's not there. Yeah,
he's not there.
Line of sight.
He's keeping his eye on something else. Right?
And you were inmates?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I see him. I drop to the back of the line. Right? I drop to the back of the line. Right? So right when it was like a few more people going in the door, so I turn around and look, and right when it was just, because I let the door close, boom, so now it's just me and him outside. I look back, and the other officer just happened to come around to look to check to see if the line was empty, so he can call the next line up. So he's standing there, just go in the door. I just look at him. I'm gonna get you, bitch. I'm gonna get you. But you know what?
He didn't even know.
So you know what? He died anyway. He died. So he had,
or he,
no, he died.
He just died.
So he had. This will tell who it is, I guess. He had kidney failure, right? So
well, you never said where it was.
So I was in the panel. I was only one person in the panel. He had kidney failure. So when it first happened, it was another officer there who donated kidney to him.
Wow.
To keep him alive, right? Ooh. And then
that's love right there.
Yeah. It was another officer gave him a kidney. And I don't know, like they failed on him again and he died later.
Kidneys are, one. He only had one at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Would you give somebody a kidney? Switching?
Depends on who it is.
Okay. Would you give somebody a kidney?
Because just randomly.
No.
It's like, little Timmy needs a kidney. It's on, CBS News and yeah.
So going back to what we talked about earlier.
But, if your son needed a kidney and I had the match, he's gonna get my kidney. So we're gonna get him another however many good years out of it.
Sure, but you've lived and done all that, right? Yeah. So when I was transitioning out of ball, people say, "What's your purpose?" Right? That whole purpose thing for life is something that's very interesting. I like philosophical thoughts and conversations and stuff, and I think my purpose and all this stuff. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but with that, one of my friends who is a year older than me, he's somebody I've always looked up to. Not my best friend, but he's one of my brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like he'd be in that category of who I fuck with. He is having kidney issues. I'm sitting there. He's got a kid. Well, I told you about him. I don't put his name out there, but he had a kid that popped up years later, 5-6 years. All of a sudden, by the way, you're about to get engaged. Here's this kid that you had with me, and fucked everything up. So I always felt bad about that too. Like, man, this baby's thrown on you 5-6 years later. You about to start a whole new life. It's gone. He's a great father, great dude, one of the best humans I know. I'm like, man, would I give him my kidney? Because at this point, I feel like I had nothing in my head. I'm like, damn, my life is not wasted, but just my mind is gone. And I was damn certain at one point, I was like, I might give this man my kidney because greater good. I'm thinking his life, his impact on the world is greater than where I was, the impact that I could have before I realized what my purpose, which I believe is to help people and guide them to potentials they don't even see, to do things for others that I didn't have, right? As you understand. But that kidney shit, I was like, man, I'm really sitting here. Because I was watching this dog when he went to the hospital and all this stuff. I'm thinking like, man, I'm about to give it just one of those things where would I give it to a coworker? Probably not. I love some of my coworkers. Love most of them. Love all my coworkers. But not kidney love. Sorry. I'm sorry. But boy,
they should understand it because they ain't gonna come.
They ain't gonna give me. Yeah, exactly. So thinking like, damn, what would make you want to give up a kidney to a coworker? Because I'm thinking about every kid, family, the people in his life, all this stuff. I'm like, he's worth me having one less kidney, right? Might even make my life different. But a coworker, I'm like, damn, dude. Even a teammate. There are some teammates I had Today was one of my old teammates' birthdays. Actually, he died a couple years ago of a heart attack. Died last year, actually, of a heart attack.
So, him dying, along with a few other tragedies that were happening to officers that I really wanted to do something to, right? It was like a message from God.
He gonna handle it.
I'm gonna handle it. Just keep it together. We got other plans for you. You know, just chill out. I see what they doing. Let me handle this.
Yeah.
Right? One ended up in a sane asylum.
They still have those?
Well, it was a she. She was, I don't know, it was like, you know, her coworkers like, bro, she's in a straitjacket in a padded room. Like, she's lost her mind.
Shit.
Right. While I was there, I was still there.
Dealing with y'all ass,
When
man.
this happened.
Shit.
It is. It's a, when my mom worked for she was like a secretary for some psychologist, psychiatrist. She was like, I was younger then. She was like, you know, it seems like the majority of the people who come through this office are correctional officers. It's like they can't handle being in jail.
They're in prison with you.
Yeah. But so there was one who, you know, she lost her mind. There was the one who died from the kidneys. There was one who pulled out from work and got hit by a truck. Skin cancer.
Yeah, God's handling this for you.
Skin cancer. A serious car wreck. They didn't die, but they couldn't come back to work. Like, they were fucked. And I mean, some of them caught like charges and stuff where they couldn't work anymore. Like, you know, they're going to prison themselves. And
Boy, that would be hell. That's gotta be tough.
that would be amazing, bro. For me to see a motherfucker who you done did some crazy shit to me, you know, and it's 10 years down the line.
Now you on this
they're
side.
walking in, holding their property, coming in. Ooh, yeah.
What up, bitch? What up?
I ain't forgot.
What y'all be yelling at them?
Oh, I ain't gonna tell them that.
No. When people come in on the new line, you see in the movies, they be yelling, fish. Like,
Because you know what? A lot of them dudes who do that type shit, they trying to fuck them anyway.
that's what I'm saying. So, like, it's just about that.
Like, I'm not in that world. You know, all that shit. You know, it's either you have the ones who they're trying to fuck these guys, or they're trying to extract their resources. You know, they look like, you know, they have money, or people sending them money, and they're gonna extort them some type of way. So, you know, I could care less.
You just gonna catch him at chow. Tray to the back of the head. Bah.
Oh, you talking about like if it was
Yeah.
Shit. No, it'd be. They'd have to face me man to man. I'm not sneaking up behind them and punching them and this, that, and the other.
Not like my man on the field yesterday walking back.
Yeah. Remember me?
Just like, shit.
Officer Dimwitty.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Officer Skip.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Damn.
Been dreaming about this moment.
You say it just like that too. They be like, oh no. You can't smile like that. But one of my boys, he works at the county. He's a chef. His family used to own an Italian restaurant. To me, I call him a killer. He's never killed. But he's martial art wise, this motherfucker's a killer. Like, he'll kick you in the face and then have your elbow and all this. Like, all of a sudden, you like, wait, all my friends are really, no, my core group, very, very, very seasoned, educated martial artists.
I'm gonna check this video real quick. Make sure it's still there.
So he was, you talk about people working in the prison. So he was telling me he works at like the culinary, whatever.
The kitchen.
No.
So he's in the school, culinary arts school.
He's like teaching them how to cook.
Yeah.
And he said something about one of his inmates couldn't come back or he had to get some out. And I'm like, so you in there alone with them? He's like, yeah, sort of,
Yeah.
you know. And like, you know, the knives are all like counted up and whatever down and stuff. And I'm like, man, that's cool. You know, like that's a thing. Because you've always said what you say about correctional officers and shit. And I'm like, well, you're not a CO though. He's like, no, I don't. I just go in it.
So yeah, so you do have teachers in there.
Mm-hmm.
Some, but see, so in Florida, there's not much education in prison. Like, you have to go to, it's certain prisons that still offer vocational training. So it could be some type of culinary arts. Like I took an electrician trade. But this was at one particular prison that had.
Your boy did that, right?
It had no, he did electrician once he got out. But the one I was at, it had masonry, automotive, some type of drafting, like architecture.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of cars. I was like, what drafting? No.
I said automotive, masonry, drafting, electrician. I think it might have been something else that kind of came and went, but
I can see cooking.
Like all those years I did, like Sumter was really the only place that offered those vocations.
And that was the tough one.
No, Sumter
or Belgrade was the tough
one. Something was like a little break.
Oh, that was the fun. That was not the fun one, but the.
Some was the one that had
the basketball. Yeah.
You got 5 fields where you can play football at the same time.
Softball shit.
Softball. Yeah. Sumter was a reformed gladiator camp.
That's what
it used to be a gladiator camp. They got rid of the gladiators, and now it's like you had to be on really good behavior.
What was the one before that?
I was at Okaloosa.
That was the gladiator camp.
Okaloosa was the gladiator camp, and Charlotte.
Charlotte's the one with the
Charlotte was the worst.
Charlotte's the one with the guy in the wheelchair.
Yes.
Because I knew that was out of Florida.
Well, Charlotte's still Florida. Charlotte is Fort Myers.
Oh, Fort Myers. Okay.
Well, like Fort Myers. Yeah. Charlotte was the worst. That's what it's just nothing.
You told me the shower story there with the cold and hot water. You told me something else with the.
So, well, the one with Charlotte, where it was the guy who used to lay in the shower at nighttime because he got beat up and he took a body blow and he's seeking medical attention. They won't give it to him. So the only way he could feel good is he at night when everybody's like sleeping, because we were in the open bay dorm, so he could walk back and forth to the bathroom. He would go in the shower and lay down and let the water run on him. He was young. He ended up dying from some type of internal damage and shit. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't do anything to help him out. So I tell people, like, bro, you're on your own. You know, you could die from infection, disease. It's not just murder. You know, he got in a fight, a regular head-up fight, took a body blow, months down the line, and ended up killing him. Yeah.
You said a head-up fight, too.
Head-up fight. There was no sneaking. They went in there.
I know the bathroom thing with the shoes. The Mexicans got on boots. That was a great clip. Yeah.
That's a real thing.
That's a comedy clip, by the way. We ain't talking about Mexicans.
You see these people got the boots on, and something's going on. Shit, let me put my back up against the wall real quick.
You said that in the elevator yesterday. You said, I got my back up against the wall. I'm good.
Yeah, ain't nobody behind me.
In the corner, too. You got both sides. So 2024, man. I'm excited. I hadn't even thought about it since you said that. Like, what am I? Because everything's been so next step for me. Just this path of growth. Like I said, I like the process of getting better at something and train, but I don't like the growth process that's outside my control. I can hit 500 balls a day and know that I'll be able to do this. You know what I'm saying? I can't make people come in to want to sign up for lessons. I can't make people want to spend the money it takes. I can't make time move faster or slower so I can make more money faster or whatever. I can't affect other people in my negotiate, all that stuff. This stuff is so different.
You know what you need? I was just thinking about this, right? Because you're talking. So I was like, because you have a very obvious direct path, right? And you have steps that you know these steps are. You know, it's kind of like walking these streets of New Orleans and shit, right? You can't look up too far.
Look down.
You can trip over these steps, but you have steps right here. But every now and then you got to kind of look further up. Okay, yeah, I see that. Okay, focus on this. Anyway, I was going to say, how much video do you have of you playing?
Playing?
Playing,
not much. I have some clips. But I don't because golf it's each shot. So like the guys I'm playing with, I can't ask. Because this is not how you're not gonna want to do that.
But that's what you need.
I do.
I think that would really help you. You got your and one highlight reel.
Boy, I can make a good one. Woo! I got a couple. I'll send you one to put on here. What's on here with it? I got the colors on too.
Got the pretty swing going.
I wouldn't say it's pretty, but it's powerful. It's effective.
I mean, okay, we'll say that.
Oh, you did have the sand video at Nats. That was a good one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I got a couple. I'll send them to you.
But
I need one of those. I need a tripod and start setting it up.
No, you don't. You're from Chicago. You live in Chicago. Hey, Jeremiah, let's go out here to the golf course. You might not even really be playing. Just come out here. Let's get some
content. Okay.
Let's get some footage. Get this mixtape going and shit. Let it circulate around let people, because people are very visual.
Yeah.
Let them see something. It's just like with me with my training and stuff.
So I got a lot of clips in work in the indoor environment that I need to actually take the time. Actually, I'm gonna do that with you while we'll get on that tomorrow, because I'll show you some of the stuff I have and how I want to organize it. But I don't want to say I'm not social media savvy. I'm just that we've talked about how
it doesn't necessarily have to be even social media. It could be your own website. Because even though you work for them, you're working for yourself.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got to market myself.
You can't rely on them bringing people through the door. That's just like me with the Gym One Mat. Like, they're not bringing me people. You know what I'm saying? But you need to get in the deal too. Like, do you have that? If you bring people in, you get a higher percentage. You can work on that. That could be part of the negotiation down the line or whatever. Because I didn't get that initially.
I got to give you a Jason on that one. I hope to be able to increase my earning potential to what I believe I'm worth. Right now, it's not there. And that is also a part of the problem, is that I'm the type where I'm going to tell you what I think. It's also a problem sometimes at work. Because if I have an issue, I recede if I can't verbalize it. If I'm not able to tell you, hey, I feel like this, just to say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. That ain't got to change. Just hear me, receive it. Let's move past. If I can't do that comfortably, and I feel like I have to be on guard, and I have to have my walls up, and I have to put the mask on, well, I'm a different person.
I would just say this, right?
So I want that, but I got to get there first.
You express yourself. Increase your value in the company.
Trying.
Yes. So your words mean something.
That's what the first year is all about for me.
Because you don't want to be, the last thing you want, as a boss, is you have somebody who constantly, and not necessarily you're going to be constantly coming, but they always got something to say. It's like, bro, who are you? You like, I'm tired. I don't even want to deal with this. Yeah. Because who are you? What are you bringing to me? What value are you to me? So bring that value up. Yeah. Start bringing some money. But
I got the bringing in the money and bringing in the people is one thing. It's a matter of, for me, the marketing of myself. I'm trying to grow that a little bit, but also, like I said, the way we're paid is not necessarily what you're thinking, because what you're thinking is exactly how I would be thriving. If I get paid for signups, people come in. I'm bringing, me. I'll sell insurance. I sell you, working in a Men's Warehouse. I'll sell you the shoes you're wearing right now. I'll sell you this pen, whatever that whole thing is. I got you. Teach me the product. Teach me the value. Teach me the script. I'll modify the script to sell myself. Let me see the numbers. Let me know the deals. Make the deals. Boom. Bartending, that shit was easy. I was making that first part. I was at the one y'all came to during COVID. Money. She used to look at my numbers. How are you in the green on a Wednesday? I'm good. You showed me what shit costs. You showed me how much wiggle room I have. Let me wiggle this into profit. Right? That's my managerial skills, I think. With this stuff, it's a slower build. It's a slower burn. And I'm saying that a slow burn is something that I'm not struggling with yet, but am learning how to prosper, because, like I said, I am not in control of anything outside of what I'm in control of.
You know what else I'd suggest is building something outside of the business. Yes. Like, how you do the baseball. Yeah. The coaching and shit. Yeah. In that field.
That can't. And what's the term?
Non-compete.
Non-compete. Which I'm not qualified for yet, but it is.
There's usually a radius.
Yeah, Chicago's a big radius.
It's a big radius.
Yeah.
I know with my job, it was like it's a few miles.
So based on the law of Illinois, from what I understand, once you make above a certain amount, which I'm not there yet, or you've been with the company for a certain amount of time, you have the right to work within your field still. So, you've done all this stuff. You can't say you can't be a professional of this. What you can't do is leave. You can go across the street. You can go across the street, but you can't bring your people.
So let's say this. Suppose your You know, the company's on the east side. Just for the sake of argument, you're on the west side giving free lessons. Come out here, do the swings. But this is how you're
get to visuals. Yes.
You know, because even with training, like sometimes I just want good content. You know, so I'm training people who
At the park.
have following. It could be in the park. It could be anywhere. It could be at another gym.
Like you're working out at the park.
Sometimes it doesn't. For the location is not that important.
Okay.
For what I'm trying to say. Right. If that's a loophole that you can use, that it needs to be outside, that's fine. It could be outside. I would think it's outside anyway, unless you have an indoor training facility.
Well, but the problem is using the space because there's always professionals at a golf course. There's always
in Kentucky. You could drive to Milwaukee and do this.
And just do it. That's true. That's true.
This is for content creation. You're out here. You're at the range or wherever. You're getting these strokes in. You got your cameraman out there getting the angles. Doing all of what you do. You want to create that. And maybe you get some people who have a following. They're kind of interested in this. I will do this for you for free. Just make sure you post this.
That's a fair trade-off.
Get some eyes on it. So you don't necessarily have to be. You're building your value without, if it violates your contract for you to be getting paid to do this, then don't get paid to do it. Because you're building your brand.
Yeah, no, you're right. This is what I've been trying to think of. I never even really thought about it with anybody else because it's all individual, right? But this is exactly where I'm trying to go. I just never really haven't had an idea of how to start. Like you say with the book, I never knew where to start from because to me, posting pictures, clips, contents, reels, that's basic, right? You're not really affecting. But you got to keep doing it. That's the problem. It's like, it's just a matter of making that a priority.
But no. So suppose you're in a bar in Beverly Hills and, you're talking with whatever, some guy and they're talking about golf and, okay, but you have footage. Oh, yeah, I do instructions and, oh, damn, that's nice. People are visual. So you have something already to show them. Okay, I teach people this, and well, it just so happens, that I have, my son and all of them are doing training, and we don't have anything in the summertime. Oh, we have a guest suite that you could stay in. It's crazy, the situations, the stuff that people have, the resources that some people have. That they come across, like, bro, like I said, like in Beverly Hills. Oh, I want to, my son's golf team, during this time of year, could you come here and do this? And, you name your price, to you it sounds outrageous. Man, that's chicken scratch. Yeah, I'll give you $75,000 to train the kids for, 2 weeks or whatever. That's up to you.
That's how it happens, yeah.
That's how it happens. I've had opportunities with, the kids, come, train the soccer team. Okay. Yeah, just come over here, blah, 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 for this amount of time, And basketball team, football players.
Yeah.
Like that's how it happens.
That's how it starts, yeah.
You want to have something to show. So get your material up to show. Because it's like, that's just how life works, right?
Especially now.
This just like what I was telling you with Buddy running the track. It's just one day that fence gonna fall down. You got to be ready.
That's a good one. See, write the book. There you go. That's exactly what I need to hear.
Yeah.
Because it's always a reason. But if that fence falls down, you got ready to go. That's a damn good one right there. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna show you what I got. I'm gonna show you some little shit. Maybe I can get it together. The cameraman thing is interesting too.
But it's not hard.
It's not. No, I'm just saying that's a very simple task. It could be anybody.
It could be one of the kids in your building.
I need that guy who's jumping around, spinning with the stick, bro. Hey, yeah.
But that guy is some 13-year-old that's in your building right now.
Probably.
Talk to him. You could be whatever, doing laundry or taking the trash out, and you might see him doing something. Just talk to him. What do you do? Blah blah blah. Younger guy, he's a kid. Look, man, I got $200 if you do this. Wow, $200. You might have did it for free.
Might have did it for free.
But
just throw it out there. Yeah, you're right. And I'm in a building. That is true.
Yeah.
I might just throw it on the bulletin board. Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah. Shit, that's a good idea.
Because people do it.
People do that.
Not everybody.
No.
Everybody's on social media doing shit now.
Somebody, except for Nigel.
You know, she's old. She's my older sister. She's old. So yeah, she's not on social media. But your younger sister is, that's her thing as well. Was.
I don't even know what she is.
Yeah,
different story.
I bet she could put a good video together.
I bet she could. If she was here.
So, it's
a different story.
There's plenty of people out there.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, the building thing was a great idea. Because now I realize that is a resource. I got, you know what I mean? I look at it like, oh, I'm bothering people. Nah, man, just ask. I didn't take a picture with my shades. I got to take the picture.
The barbershop. Because most barbershops, you can leave a business card here or whatever.
Well, I've had the same barber for 15 years. That'll help me out.
On the court board or...
Yeah.
Who knows?
And it's in Oak Park, so that's it's outside Oak Park, but, it's a community.
All right, Skip, let's go and wrap this.
Let's wrap it up, Skip.
We're probably approaching...
True.
Who knows?
Well, I appreciate
1:45, maybe close to
letting me into the yard, into the yard open.
Of course, we'll do it again. Probably in some nice location next time.
Better backdrop.
Hopefully. Might be in Vegas or Tijuana or something.
Never know with us.
You never know. Life is good, man.
Life is good.
Well,
it's only getting better. Appreciate you, Skip.